There's a harsh truth that most men never face. When a woman ignores you, every instinct you have will scream at you to chase, to explain, to prove your worth. And that is exactly what destroys your chances. But here's the paradox. The more you try to get her attention, the less of it you'll ever have. The harder you push, the further she pulls away. This video isn't just about women. It's about power, control, and the inner strength you carry as a man. If you've ever felt invisible, rejected, or overlooked, you're about to discover why this might be the single greatest test of your self-mastery. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes we're not only going to expose the mistake most men make, but I'll also reveal the Stoic mindset that makes you unshakable in moments like these. And later I'll share a strategy used by emperors, generals, and philosophers that flips rejection into respect. That's where we're going. But first, let's break down the battlefield you're on. When a woman ignores you, it feels personal, like she's rejecting you, your worth, your presence, your existence. But here's the truth. It's not always about you. Sometimes it's a test. Sometimes it's projection. And sometimes it's simply life pulling her in another direction. The mistake, believing her silence is a demand for more of your effort. No, silence is a mirror. It shows you how much control you really have over yourself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." If you can't master your emotions in the silence, you'll never master them in the storm. Let's dive in. First thing, the power of doing nothing. The first thing you must do is nothing, not silence out of spite, not a fake ignore her back strategy. I mean genuine, grounded stillness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." When a woman ignores you, the weak man acts. The strong man observes. Why? Because chasing is not action, it's reaction. And every reaction hands over your power. Think of a king. When a subject refuses to bow, does the king chase him down the street begging for respect? No. The king remains seated, knowing his value does not rise or fall on one person's approval. And here's the paradox. When you do nothing, you do the most powerful thing. You show her, and yourself, that your worth is not on trial. But that's only the beginning, because doing nothing doesn't mean being passive. It's preparation for the second move. And this is where most men fail. They stay stuck in silence, but they don't transform in the silence. The Stoics had a practice that turns being ignored into the greatest training ground for resilience, and that's what we uncover next. Second thing, build inner fire through self-mastery. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." When a woman ignores you, don't waste it chasing shadows. Redirect it. Transform that space into fuel. Go to the gym. Learn a new skill. Pour energy into your mission, your craft, your discipline. Because here's the hidden truth. What attracts people isn't attention-seeking. It's momentum. Psychology calls it the law of focus. What you feed grows. Focus on her silence. It grows into insecurity. Focus on your purpose. It grows into power. And history proves this. The greatest men, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, even modern icons, didn't waste time seeking validation. They built lives so meaningful that validation became irrelevant. So if she ignores you, build yourself until ignoring you feels like her loss, not your wound. But here's where the transformation deepens, because it's not just about building muscle or skills, it's about mastering the third and final discipline, the hardest of all. And this is where boys remain boys and men become unshakable. Miss this part and you'll keep repeating the same cycle of chasing, losing, and regretting. Third thing to do, embrace the discipline of detachment. Epictetus said, "When someone is properly grounded in life, they no longer have to look outside themselves for approval. This is the ultimate shift, detachment, not cold indifference, not arrogance, but the ability to say, her response does not define me, her silence does not diminish me. Most men think love is possession. The Stoics knew love is freedom, freedom for her, freedom for you. Detachment is strength because it frees you from fear, fear of losing her, fear of being alone, fear of being unwanted. And when fear leaves, confidence enters. When you release the need to be noticed, you become unforgettable. Because true magnetism isn't in chasing, it's in standing still while the world spins, unshaken. But don't stop here, because detachment is not the end, it's the doorway. The real question is, what kind of man are you becoming in the silence? So let's strip it down. When a woman ignores you, don't beg, don't chase, don't crumble. Do nothing because silence is power. Build yourself because momentum is attractive. Detach because freedom is strength. This isn't just about women, it's about life. Every time the world ignores you, every time opportunities pass you by, you are faced with a choice. Will you chase in desperation, or will you stand in discipline? The Stoics knew the man who conquers himself cannot be conquered by anyone else. So the next time you feel ignored, remember, it's not rejection, it's redirection. Redirection back to your mission, your values, your unshakable core. And if this message lit a fire in you, if it gave you clarity, courage, or conviction, then subscribe to Equinox Mindset right now. Because here, we don't play games. We build men who rise above distraction, who walk with discipline, and who live with purpose. Now I'll leave you with one question. When silence comes into your life, will you see it as rejection, or will you use it as the training ground to build the unshakable man you were meant to be? The choice is yours.